Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Bria Love. We want to get right to our wildfire team coverage this morning. Chris Thomas up early and joining us from the Dixie Fire. Lena Howland back with us again this morning, continuing coverage of the River Fire. And we'll hear from meteorologist Rob Carlmark in just a moment. First, though, we want to hear from the supervisor of Plumas National Forest about the Dixie Fire's impact.
We're seeing truly frightening fire behavior. I don't know how to overstate that, but we have a lot of veteran firefighters who have served for 20, 30 years and have never seen behavior like this, especially day after day, and the conditions we're in. And so we really are in uncharted territory.
Well, let's bring in Rob now. Rob, can you explain more about what this means for containment efforts?
It's just going to be very difficult to contain this fire. I mean, you're going to see some really terrible days like the last 2 days, and then you're going to see better days relative to where we've been. But folks, we know how climate works in California. There's no chance of getting real rain that would snuff out the fire until very late summer and early fall at the earliest. So we're just in a tough spot. And then to go back to his point, there's anecdotal evidence and then there's hard evidence. And anecdotal evidence is just someone's personal reflections and how it compares to normal. And that's important because that's how we experience the world. But, you have to look to climate experts to really understand what's going on here. And if you take all these observations all across the planet, including right here at home, what we're noticing is this trend. Things are just trending hotter than normal. And then on the far right, that's the extreme territory. We're entering phases we just clearly haven't seen. Take the Pacific Northwest heat wave where, places like Portland hit 117 degrees. That's not only not ever happened before, it shot past the all-time record by a huge margin. So number one, fire responds to hot weather because it loves hot, dry conditions. You throw in wind and you're in another situation. And what we also know, this is not anecdotal, this is hard evidence. National Weather Service and NOAA compiled all the data across the United States and compared the averages compared to the last decade. And what we know for sure is that California and many other big western states have been much drier than normal, and we certainly know that over the last couple of years. Mixed in, you're going to have wet years as well, but trending over the last decade, it's been very hot and very dry. And today it's going to be hot and smoky, better wind conditions there, but the smoke and haze is going to spread out big time to more locations. We'll talk about it a little bit later on. Back to you.
Rob, thank you. Well, let's continue our fire watch now with live looks at both the Dixie and River fires. Starting with the Dixie Fire, it absolutely exploded overnight, growing more than 83,000 acres. Let's take a look at a few images here. This is how Greenville looked before the Dixie Fire overtook the town. You're looking there at a bar. It looks completely fine, but here's what it looks like now, completely destroyed. This morning, CAL FIRE says there are still 4 people missing. This as so many are starting to think about how to rebuild among all of this destruction. Plumas County officials are sharing their shock at what's happened.
So for those of you that don't know, I'm a lifelong resident of Greenville. And I want to start by saying my heart is crushed by what has occurred there.
Our firefighters and our law enforcement components that were in there initially risked their own lives to save those civilians that did not evacuate. And that's a dream.
Well, the Dixie Fire is now burning more than 361,000 acres. That's up from around 278,000 yesterday. It's the biggest wildfire in California right now. There's still no new progress on its containment. It's stuck at 35%. That's the same number that we've been reporting all week. We're learning 25% of the nation's firefighting resources are out there battling the flames. Let's go live now to Chris Thomas. He's on the ground in Greenville. Chris, what are you seeing out there this morning?
Just utter devastation, Bria. I mean, it is just so hard to believe, and sadly, year in and year out, we're telling you of just all of this devastation. In this case, one of the things that you're noticing on practically every block is just the intensity of the flames. I want to show you this. So you've got this power pole here. I mean, it's still, right? But you look up and you see that it has been melted, and it's wrapping down around me and over here on the ground. And you see this on every single block here in this area. Listen to how residents describe the force of these flames.
It just got, like the saying goes, all hell broke loose.
all hell broke loose, he said. It's really hard to see right now because of all the smoke here, but I will tell you, as we were driving in, you still have this wall of flames on 89 that firefighters are working to try and tackle even as we speak. And coming up later in the show, residents have a message for the hard work that firefighters are doing. Bria, I want to make sure that people can hear that later in the show.
Absolutely, Chris. I completely feel for all the homeowners who may have spent their whole life saving to buy that home and now have to just focus on what they're going to do next. We'll check in with you in a little bit. Thank you. And now to the river fire that started on Wednesday. More than 5,000 people have evacuated in Nevada and Placer counties. And as of this morning, they don't know when they'll get to go back home. The river fire has grown more than 1,000 acres since yesterday morning. It's now up to 2,600. It's burning near the city of Colfax, and right now it's only 15% contained. This morning, ABC 10's Lena Howland is in Grass Valley to give us a live look at the fire there. Lena, you're checking in with those who've evacuated. How are they feeling at this hour?
Well, this shelter set up here at Bear River High School is filled with hundreds, well, just under 100 evacuees, both inside and out, that have now spent 2 nights away from their homes. So many of them have told me they are feeling anxious, just ready to get back and see if their homes are still standing or not. This video is what's left of a home on White Oak Drive. The homeowner told me they had just moments to leave when they saw the flames approaching and didn't have time to grab any valuables. That's a similar story for a lot of the evacuees we talked to. CAL FIRE told us yesterday that a combined 5,200 people across both Placer and Nevada counties were evacuated from this fire. We talked to one evacuee who said his neighbor actually tried to stop the fire with a garden hose, but he was too late.
Came up the hill and was so fast that he was literally running from it. It was my dream. It was our dream house. Had the view of the back, had a nice back patio and stuff.
There are 2 different evacuation centers set up right now, the Bear River High School here in Nevada County and the Regional Park Gym over in Placer County. Now, evacuees here at the high school are hopeful to see some more containment with this fire, and really they are keeping their fingers crossed that they can go home soon. Back to you.
And we're doing the same for them here. Lena, thank you. Well, you can find a full list of evacuations on the river fire and other need-to-know fire information on our website, abc10.com, right now.